a second here.
Thank you.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, we're live.
All right, thank you, everyone. We'll, first item on the agenda here is we'll conduct the roll. And Mayor Dennis.
Unmute, John.
Unmute.
He's left the building.
Okay, well, we'll come back to it in a second. Okay. Tom Murtaugh,
Present.
Larry Leverance,
Present.
Peter Bunder,
Here.
Ben Murray,
Here.
Shane Spears.
Present.
All right. And Mayor Dennis, we called your name for roll call. Can you say here, please?
I can. Does
Okay.
that qualify?
Thank
Here.
All right. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the April 14th, 2022 meeting. You have those documents in front of you. I entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any changes or corrections? Hearing none, I'll conduct a roll call vote. John Dennis,
Aye.
Tom Murtaugh,
Aye.
Larry Leverance,
Aye.
Peter Bunder,
Aye.
Ben Murray.
Aye.
Shane Spears.
Aye.
Motion carries. The minutes are approved. Thank you, everyone. The next item on the agenda is the administrative modification for the 2022 through 2026 TIP, and Tim will be handling that.
Yes, so this is a modification that we got a request from InDOT to do. And really what it's about is aligning our TIP with the STIP. So there are two bridge projects that we have on Lily Road over the Weah Creek, bridges 64 and 65, which are in the process. They have been showing up in our our quarterly project tracking reports, I should say. And so that they're well underway. And these modifications deal with moving the construction funding to fiscal year 2025. They were previously scheduled for 2024, but they're being moved back to 2025. And then we had to adjust some of the dollar amounts as well. We just heard back a little bit on InDOT from that. They haven't said whether or not they're okay with it. They just acknowledged that they received it from us. So as far as I can tell, I think this is one of those no news is good news situations. So I think we should be good to go with this amendment. But yeah, it looks like now our TIP should align a little bit better with the STIP.
Okay. Any questions for Tim? And Tim, this is one where you just have to bring it to our attention, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct. It's not an actionable item because it's just a modification.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you very much. All right, if there are no questions, we'll move on to the APC progress report. And under section A, MPO update, we have the 2050 Metropolitan Transportation Plan update. And then under that, we have the federal funding obligation, and Tim will be handling both of those.
Yep, so I'll go ahead and start with the 2050 MTP update. So that's moving along well. So as you guys remember at our last meeting, one of the things we talked about was moving around the date of our June committee meeting in order to make sure that we can get the MTP adopted before the deadline. So thank you to everyone for responding on that, and we have moved our meeting to June 7th. So that will allow us to meet in time to satisfy the requirements. Right now, where we're at with this plan is we are in the public outreach, public involvement, public comment phase. We have posted a draft version of the plan on our website, along with a comment form that we created where people can give us some comments on the plan. Kind of what we've seen from the comments we've gotten so far is that they're not necessarily directly on items in the plan per se. They're more about transportation things that people see going on in general. So perhaps something that they identified around where they lived or a place where they frequently travel, maybe their place of employment or whatever. And so that's kind of what we expect. It's a very large plan. It's a 300-page document. So I don't think it's really reasonable to expect detailed comments from citizens, but that's okay. You know, we still want to make sure that people get opportunities to have their voices heard. So even if, you know, it's not something that is a direct comment on the plan, that's okay. We're still recording those and we're including them in an appendix, which will be in the final version. And we've also, in addition to that, we've had some public open house meetings. We had 3 of them starting the last week of April. We had 2 that week and then 1 the first week of May. And we were able to talk to some different people and kind of have some display materials ready at those meetings. And so myself and some of the rest of our staff kind of rotated around who attended those. And we were able to get some good conversation going with various folks about just kind of what they see. And we got a couple requests to send some further information to folks that attended those meetings. So I was able to get some stuff sent out to them, which I think is a good thing, that we certainly got that kind of engagement where people were interested in some, you know, post open house follow-ups. And then we do have one more meeting, which is more of kind of a hearing type of meeting where we will have a presentation on the plan and kind of some of the contents of the plan. It will be taking the place of our June Citizens Participation Committee meeting. We'll be moving that to June 2nd. And we'll have kind of a presentation about the MTP as well as an opportunity for continued or further comments from the public. And we will be streaming that as well as having that in person. And we will be taking comments from people that are either in the room or comments online. And again, those comments will be recorded and put in one of the appendices in the plan. So we're moving along pretty well. We're close to the finish line here. So pretty happy with how everything's turned out. Our staff's put in a lot of hard work on this. And I think that's shown through, and happy to report that. So I would also take any questions at this time about the plan.
Well, any questions for Tim? And I certainly want to reiterate our thanks to you and the staff. I know from doing this a while that this is a lot of work for you guys and painstaking work sometimes. And we do certainly appreciate all the effort that you put into it. So is there any questions for Tim? All right, well, we'll go on to federal funding obligation.
Yes, so this one is something that we had kind of hoped we would have a little bit of information on, but we didn't get anything on it. So this is something that we typically get every month from InDOT in terms of kind of tracking if all our federal funds are shown as obligated in their system. And because this is kind of a little bit of an unusual month with a few things in terms of having a holiday early in the month and having different staff members from our agency as well as InDOT be on vacation and such. We have not received anything from them on that, but we do know that we have obligated all the funds. We were able to get the last of the funds obligated with the West Lafayette Sagamore Parkway Trail project. So at this point, it's just a matter of making sure that, you know, everything's correct in everybody's accounting system. So the funds are obligated, and we know that the reports will show those eventually when we get them. So we do want to mention that, again, funds are all obligated, so we're good to go. We've spent all the money that we got allocated. We just don't have any sort of display to show that at this particular meeting.
Okay, great. Well, I'm glad you were able to get all that worked out. Any questions for Tim under that line item? All right. Also, if we could let the record reflect that Harry Brown has joined us, please. All right. The next item on the agenda is the InDOT 18-month letting list.
Yep. So right now, what you're seeing is that there's kind of the time of year when InDOT locks down the books so that they can close out their accounting, which is something that's very typical this time of year. So what we see in the 18-month letting list is that we did have a letting in April. That was, of course, the Sagamore Parkway Trail. But then after that, we don't have any more lettings until September. And those were actually lettings that were initially planned for July, but they were moved back. It's a couple of bridge thin deck overlay projects on US 231. And I think what I want to say about this is just kind of in general, we're seeing a lot of projects throughout the state kind of, get letting dates pushed back. I know that the folks at InDOT are having a lot of challenges with trying to get everything processed because there are so many problems with, projects coming in way over bid and different, localities trying to deal with that issue, as well as permitting issues. And there's just a lot going on. So this is something we're kind of seeing as a trend, just talking to other MPOs around the state. And also we've seen it in other, even the smaller counties. So we do some work for Carroll County through an InDOT grant as a RPO. And we were seeing kind of the same trend there where they're getting some projects pushed back. So nothing uncommon, but just something that we're dealing with. And then if we go down a little farther down the list, we see kind of that same thing where we have some projects, numbers 11 through 13, again, being pushed back. We had one project that was set to let in July and then two set to let in October, and those have all been pushed back to December. Project 16, 17, and 18. These are, again, changes in letting dates, and again, everything was pushed back. The last two specifically were pushed back pretty far from 2022 to 2025. And those are part of larger bundles that the state DOT is doing. So that's work that's not just in Tippecanoe County, but it's in some other counties as well. So I don't know, Shane, if you have any additional comments on some of those types of things.
No, I think you're spot on. Obviously, like you said, our last bid letting, we were seeing like 40, I think it was 49% overages on what they were bid at versus what we had estimated. So it's not a big secret. Obviously, if anybody pays attention to the news, so materials, labor, everything's going up, right? And historically, this isn't a great time of the year for lettings anyways, but we're being challenged for sure.
All right. Well, thank you. Is there any other questions for Tim or Shane from members of the board? All right. Well, that actually concludes most of the things that are on the formal agenda. Is there anything under other business? All right. Well, have we received any citizen comments during the course of this meeting?
I do not have any citizen comments at this time, but we could wait for a minute to let everyone catch up to the stream and type in any comments if they have them.
All right. Thank you. If you just let me know.
All right, I'm timing it.
And while we're waiting here, I'll kind of fill the airtime by just once again mentioning that our next meeting will be rescheduled to June 7th to accommodate the adoption of the MTP. And so I've already sent out a link for that, so it should be on everyone's calendars, but I will send out another reminder email just because I know it's changing the routine for everyone.
Okay. Thank you, Tim. We appreciate that.
Okay, it has been 1 minute and I see no further public comments on Facebook or YouTube.
Okay, all right, thank you. I would entertain a motion for adjournment then.
So moved.
Seconded.
All right, we have a second. Roll call vote. John Dennis,
Aye.
Tom Murtaugh,
Aye.
Larry Leverance,
Aye.
Perry Brown,
Aye.
Peter Bunder,
Aye.
Ben Murray.
Aye.
And Shane Spears.
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned, everybody. We'll put a little time back in your day.